The game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. Drugs. Oh, okay. Photosensitive warning. The game has scenes of flickering lights and strong. Okay. Well, that's your warning. And hello, everyone. Welcome to Fear and Hunger 2 Termina. Now, this game came out 2.5 years, like December 2022. I did play the first one. I did what? I think almost all of the endings except one, and then all the 4S endings. But music's kind of creepy. And this girl too. So let's start new game. Ooh, okay, so we can do choose a person. Okay, ex-soldier 18, haven't fought in war since he was 13. Ex-soldier exceeds at ranged combat and has great aim with most firearms. Okay, occultist 18 info. The occults focus on creative use of the otherworldly powers, while not as strong with handful offensive skills. Her abilities are no less impressive when used properly. A doctor 20. Doctor skill set is mainly focused in curing different status ailments and analyzing the possibly weakness in other enemy autonomy. Okay, mechanic. Oh wow, this is a lot, isn't there? Guess I'll just pick which one I think looks coolest. Okay. Wheelchair. Oh, thug slash boxer. Okay, journalist. Okay, so it seems like I don't know who I should play as. I guess this guy looks like the bliss. Arcock. Okay, well that's not the one. Even. Okay, well, we can do that. So, I forgot how funky this game is. This is probably going to be as Fear and Hunger mode. Easier mode. Let's do Fear and Hunger mode. I'm no wimp. Okay, train. Skip chapter history? No. The shooting sound of the rail tracks. We're not used to such peaceful and tranquil atmosphere. You can't help but let your mind wander. You reminisce what has led you to this point in life. For the majority of your life, you've only known the streets of the Vatican City. This is actually the first time in your life you're traveling this far from those narrow and crowded alleyways. Things don't look that fancy elsewhere. Traveling is overrated, you think to yourself. In your earliest memories, you remember spending time with your parents, but then suddenly you just didn't have parents anymore. You can't remember what happened, but from one point onwards, it was just you and your sister against the world. You were still only 10 years old, but you had to make a living somehow. Oh. I think pickpocketing is the best option. Entry steal. The Vatican City was full of street kids similar to you. In no time, you learned the tricks of the trade. You tried your hand in pickpocketing. Oh, I did pickpocketing. Oh, that's useless. Worked for some time, but too often you got caught up in the act, which resulted in you getting beat up. The streets schooled you hard, but as you grew older, you noticed that you started to tower over those who bullied you before. If someone still tried to do you dirty, you were quickly able to give them a taste of your justice. Because of your size and skills in fighting, you started to attract attention of local street gangs and tried to recruit you as their muscle. This never sounded right to you. You had been extorted of your measly salaries too many times. You didn't want to do the same to anyone. But turning down small-time criminals only got you to further trouble. Almost every other night, you end up in the streets. At one point, you realized that you were doing more fighting than actual work. Not to mention that anywhere you got most of your money to. You started to consider fighting as your job. Maybe it would be worth investing into it more. You started to work out more regularly and follow a strict regimen. Improve your footwork, train your stamina. Okay, I guess improve footwork. If that swift feet would improve useful in boxing rings, it wouldn't matter how hard one would punch if that punch never connects. You spice up your boxing drills by trying sandbags to your arms and feet. Every time you start to get used to the weights, you double the bags. You didn't really feel the change until you finally dropped the weights and noticed how light and lightning fast your movements were without the additional baggage. Your ability leveled up at least twice during all of that. You were doing alright in fights, so much so that you started building a little reputation on the streets. In no time, you move on to underground boxing rings where there was more money on the table and less danger of the opponent pulling a knife in the middle of the match. While you were busy in the ring, your sister had grown into a beautiful young woman who attracted all kinds of admirers. It would have meant trouble if it wasn't for your mean reputation. Most low-life thugs on the street knew that they'd have to answer to you if they tried anything dodgy. That didn't mean that they weren't those who tried. You started to get close with a known mobster, Ricardo Accarado. He was the heir to the Accardo branch of the family. The family was an organized body of criminals operating in the Vatican City. And all intents and purposes, the family was a mafia, but they also had deep ties to the church, which in turn was running the country, so it was a bit more complicated. Despite being a mobster, Ricardo seemed decent enough. He had a flirtatious and flattering way of speaking and generally got along with everyone. He took notice in your skills and tried to casually recruit you to their ranks. You politely declined the offer. Since you didn't take the offer, Ricardo had another one on the platter. He proposed that he hook you up with a real boxing trainer to get you to the next level. You again declined, but your sister insisted that you'd at least try it out. You agreed. Things started to feel more professional the second you stepped inside the gym. The trainer, an elderly gentleman who had an impressive record of previous apprentices, impressed by you, thought the best specialized. Uh, okay, let's do offense. Learned Adrenaline Rush. Half its objectives had your first real bout in the ring, won the match with relative ease. Your sister and Ricardo were there to congratulate you. Continue with your winning streak. The hype around you was growing slowly, even you start to even left. Ricardo was able to organize big matches after another. You started spending more time inside quarters with Ricardo and without noticing had been pulled into the criminal world. What started as helping out a friend became a more frequent occurrence. Soon Ricardo showed his true colors. He had been building you up for a fate boxing match. Apparently, your next opponent was a former family member who had cut all ties of the organization. Your job was to kill him in the boxing match. You politely declined, but at this point there was no turning back. Carter reminded that he got your sister back at his flat and she'd feel it in her skin if you didn't comply. You didn't know what to do. Soon you found yourself in the ring with the ex-family member and the bell rang. He was a tough opponent, but you managed to get the best of him. You were able to counter one of his attacks with a knockout hit. Veins moved in slow motion as you saw Ricardo in your corner nodding with a sly smile. You followed up with your hit with another and another and another. You didn't even stop when the man hit the ground. The referee had to pull you away with all he got before you stopped. The damage had already been done. You had killed a person. You were devastated by all of this, but you keep it inside. This was only the beginning. Ricardo had plenty of dirty work for you to do. And at that point, he had plenty of leverage too. Your sister being the last resort every time you hesitate. Oh shit. Didn't see what that was. Ricardo was wary of you. He seemed to sense your killing intent from miles away, and that's why he avoided seeing you alone to the best of his abilities. He was too cocky to consider you a serious threat, though, as if he'd had you under his thumb. Provided out to be a grave mistake for him. You were to meet Ricardo and a dozen of his henchmen at a local club to discuss another one of your many tasks. You had been waiting for an opportunity to see him alone, but that opportunity never presented it. Fair enough, you. The moment you got to a punching distance, Ricardo had a split-second realization of what was happening before you knocked him off his feet. The little rat tried to slither away, but you grabbed him by his throat and kept slamming him on the floor until he stopped moving. In your rage, you lifted him up and threw him over the railing. He fell from the second floor to the center of the club dance floor. You saw him fall headfirst to the ground. You had succeeded in what you set out to do. Getting out of the club was second. You had to fight through a mob of Ricardo's. Somehow you made it out from the back door with only minor injuries and ran away as fast as you could. You ran away from the crime scene. The problem was that now both the family and the law enforcement were after you. Just then, you received a phone call from your sister. She had been sent to Ricardo's summer villa in the country of Holland some days prior. You explained the situation to her and decided to meet up in the country of Rondon. There was no possibility of you living in Vatican City anymore. You had to act fast before the police would catch up to you. What did you take with you before leaving? Ooh. I guess food. 2 dried meats and moldy bread. Took the first train that left the country. Destination was an obscure light town called Prehevil, the country of Bohemia. You had no idea where this was, but you figured you could plan your trip better once you got there. Save your character history. Skip intro. No. Okay. Uh-oh. That can feel like someone was watching you while you slept. Okay. There's a girl that drew something. Okay, so this is... Search the luggage. You found a lavender. Okay, lavender. Old pamphlet. There doesn't anything in. How about this guy? Can't. Oh, no answer. Allerman. Talk. Here. Oh, anything left? Okay. Old pamphlet. Red herb. Okay. Oh. I'll go right. Only go left. It would appear. This so far is a lot easier than the first game because you died after like not doing anything for a few seconds. You found 3 9mm bullets.